Okay, everybody, let's go back through what we have. So here's what we did today. So first of all, we talked about factoring quadratics to solve them, which we did last year a little bit. But we got to first start with this thing called the zero product. The zero product tells us that when you multiply anything by 0, it equals 0. So the whole idea of this particular part of the lesson is when we factor, we absolutely have to have it equal 0, because 0 times anything is 0, so if x is 3, it's 0. 0 times anything is 0, so if x is 1, it would be 0. So my zeros are 3 and 1, has to equal 0. So then we took a look at this problem with Angela, and Angela wanted to solve it quickly, but Angela did not make it equal to 0. So she got the wrong answers. That is not the right answer. 7 and 1 are not the answers at all. And then we looked at Dwight, and Dwight did his problem, and the same thing. Dwight did not make it equal to 0, and he got two answers of 4 and 3. Those are not the answers. We could plug it in and prove it. So then we said, okay, what are the answers? So we took both of our answers, and first we brought the 7 over. So we brought the 7 over, we subtracted the 7, made it a negative 7. Then we factored what times what makes 7 was 7 and 1. We need a positive 7 and a negative 1 to multiply by 7, but then they will add to make the positive 6. That's how we factor trinomials. And then we do our mini equations. We get negative 7 and positive 1. Okay, then we took a look at Dwight's, and we said, okay, well, what we need to do with Dwight is, again, make it equal to 0. So we went subtract 6, x squared plus 5x equals 0. We common factored out an x. So then we got one answer of 0, and then, of course, the other answer is the opposite of positive 5 is negative 5, because that makes it 0. So we got 0 and negative 5. Well, then we took a look at a couple others where what we did here is we first we factored multiples of 12. It does equal 0. Negative 6, negative 2. But, of course, the answers are the opposite, because this is what makes 0. Plug in the 6, plug in 2. So those are my zeros. In B, the first thing we have to do is bring over 7. So I added the 7, and I factored what times what makes 7, 7 and 1. And then when I do my mini equation, I get a negative 7, negative 1. C was a little bit more difficult. We had to first common factor out of 2/3 x. And when I take out a 2/3, oh, that's not right. It should be a 1/3 x. 1/3 x. So then we get 0 and 5/2 is our answer, okay? And then finally on D, can't factor. Can't factor at all. So until we know the quadratic formula, we just say can't be done, okay? And then finally we looked at Jim and Pam. Jim did not factor, but he solved. Yeah, that works. Pam wanted to factor. They got the same answers, one by factoring, one for solving. And both will work. It just depends on whichever technique you want to use. Okay, that's what I had for today. I'm going to stop the recording. And homework was a worksheet on factoring.